Hey, you guys, and welcome to my channel. Let's continue this discussion on the lower range narcissistic man. And if you've missed the other two very specific recordings on this, dare I say, individual, you know, person, I'll tag them to the end of the video. Ultimately, I'll probably end up just creating a playlist titled Low Range Narcissistic Male, and I'll put all these videos in that playlist. But nonetheless, this topic, guys, is, very near and dear to me as far as this aspect of the narcissistic, low range narcissistic male. It is the most troubling to me because, it's very reckless and selfish, of course. And, I see this domino effect playing out in so many women and children's lives every day. And, there's no respect. There's no respect for human life. I mean, you're creating another being. You're creating another person. You're connecting family trees. It's a lot deeper than what this lower range narcissistic male will ever acknowledge or, have respect for. And that is incredibly sad, and extremely ignorant. I feel like, men like this, they deserve to be fixed. I mean, like, their privilege to procreate should be stripped from them because, it's reckless to society, and some of these kids, they grow up very angry and resentful, of their narcissistic father for not, being there for them and for constantly dropping the ball and not providing any stability and, just caring about his own shallow fleshly needs, for his whole life. That's the energy right there. So this man is looking to be protected and provided for. All right, this lower range narcissistic man is looking to be protected and provided for, but when we consider the masculine and feminine energy, we can see where that is in a feminine energy. A woman, when she's looking for a husband, she should strive, I would think, to want to be protected and provided for. This is what a man's primary responsibilities are. But yet this man is looking for groups of women to do this for him. So, basically he's getting something from this woman, he's getting something from that woman, he's getting something from that woman, and he's putting it all together to maintain his lifestyle, it's his livelihood, basically. So he's able to love bomb these women initially and future fake with them like he's their knight in shining armor, right? And then, if they're young and naive, or perhaps they have a low emotional maturity, or maybe they're operating out of low self-esteem, maybe, they have daddy issues, maybe they never seen a healthy example of a man loving a woman. So they've been conditioned to accept less and not know what they are actually robbing themselves of here. But, either way, a man like this will water down your expectations so that you will accept something that I would call struggle love. And, a man that believes in struggle love will say stuff like, all we need is love, and he's totally abandoning the protecting and providing aspect of things. So he's basically out of order. But I feel that this man knows he's out of order. And narcissists do have low self-esteem, but it doesn't stop him from feeling entitled, because we know that narcissists are very entitled people as well. All right. So, he doesn't want to work for the success, but ultimately I feel he knows he's incompetent, meaning he doesn't believe that he can achieve the success that he wants. So he tries to use other people to get that, So if he's dating this woman who's, killing it in her career, and he's able to attach himself to her, well, first of all, it makes him not feel as low on himself. It helps him be in denial about his incompetency, because it's like, well, she's a reflection of me. So if she got a nice home and a crib, she's already a homeowner, she got her ducks in a row, and she's with me, then that plays into his false mask. So it actually helps him, stay in delusion. And then it helps him survive, because men like this, they're in survival mode. Okay. They're in survival mode. And what they're bringing to the table is basically sex, possibly looks, and attention. Okay. And they are typically sold to the highest bidder. Even if that has to be someone new, they're always looking, because the eyes of man are never full, and when we're talking about these lower range narcissistic men, they're very selfish, and they're very greedy, and they operate out of an energy of lack. Like, there's so much lack in this person. That's why they can't just be with one person. It's like a void that's so empty inside of them that it can never be filled up, no matter how many people he gets, because ultimately it wasn't supposed to be filled by them to begin with. So if you're filling it with the wrong thing, it's never going to work properly. It's never going to be satisfied. Okay? It's kind of equivalent to, sometimes we eat foods that aren't good for us, and it's possible, right? And it's not that the nutrients that we need aren't getting into our system. And that's how we could eat fast food and end up feeling hungry an hour later, because what did you really eat? It was junk food. And then when you eat something of quality and of substance, you're able to eat a smaller portion of it. Your body is actually receiving those nutrients, and you actually feel full. See, because you're eating something of quality that can actually nurture you. So he's filling the voids with things. He's trying to nurture himself with things that, is still leaving him feeling empty, actually, at the end of the day. And it's, a very, very shallow existence. And that's the crisis that he creates right there, because, he finds the woman and he's able to love bomb her, and he wants to secure it. But he knows he's not a husband. He knows he's not a husband, and he knows he's not ready to give her a big wedding. He knows whether he can do it or not. He knows what a man is supposed to bring into a woman's life. And he don't have any of that stuff. So the next best thing that he can do to dupe this woman, to try to trap her anyway, to try to keep a connection with her so that she may take care of him or provide and protect him, even if it's on a lesser scale. He's able to get something from her. Oh, well, I guess I'll help him with his cell phone bill so the kids will be able to talk to him. He'll play off of stuff like that, and it'll be ways for him to get his needs met because of the kids. So the next best thing would have been what? For him to get her pregnant. Because guess what? Even when people get divorces, relationships break up, guess what? That child is still there. And a man like this is going to flex that around, He's going to use that, dangle that in front of your face as an excuse or reason to get you to, take care of him, and basically for him to get supply from you. But the thing is, his eyes are never full, so he could end up, I've seen this situation, men having 4 kids with 4 different women, 5, 6 of them. Like, I've seen at the height of it, some men that have like 28 kids with 20 something women. Like, that's one of the extreme versions, but like, what are you doing? And then this man was not, he was the low range narcissist. He couldn't even take care of one child, let alone the 28 children he brought into the world. It's reckless. Like, you have you're only thinking about yourself. And then, I have to hold women accountable as well. And we have to do better. We have to have higher standards and boundaries. Because when we come and meet this man and find out he's had all these children and he's been non-committal and he's bouncing from this one to that one, we can't be always thinking that we're going to be the exception. I know how these men are, and you're probably like, Lakia, I know how he presents the story. Of course, he's going to present it in a way that makes him victimized, in a way that makes it seem like he gave it his best and it was just the cards he was dealt. Okay, well, you know what? No one told you to keep poking all these women unprotected, and, coming inside of them, creating. No one told you to do that. Okay? No one told you. And then sometimes these babies is fresh. You meet this guy, he fresh off of having a baby. These are red flags, but we fall for the stories because, like I said, he's going to make it. She's crazy. I found out she was crazy. All I wanted to do was love her and be there for my child. He's going to say anything that sounds good and just lie to your face. And then, this woman, it could be, she might make it worse or better, She might be bitter and resentful, and then you catch her in her anger phase because she's been through hell and back. And it may only make him look like he was telling the truth, like she really is crazy. No, she's hurt. She's stepping out of the delusions now, and she's stepping into reality, and she's seeing how she got duped, and now she is bitter, she is angry, she is resentful, and now that's the energy you're encountering with him, and that's exactly the energy he wants you to see, because it only makes him look like he's telling the truth. Okay? And she's in her feelings. But it's very sad to me because I think about the women and the children. That's not the way that God planned it to be, and it's very sickening to me, and reckless on the highest of levels, reckless to the family structures, and is reckless to society because, people end up having complexes about these things. Thanks to all these low-range narcissistic men who can't think beyond getting their cell phone bill paid, trying to keep a roof over their head through a woman, trying to keep food in their belly. You know what I mean? And then they come into some money and they're spending it on themselves. Okay? And it's very sickening because these guys end up with very sweet women, actually, a lot of times. These are typically very nurturing, empathetic women who would make a good wife to a man, if she knew her worth and her value. And then, she wanted to be a wife, at least at some point, chances are. And this is the other thing that he's exploiting. He's playing off your emotions of desiring to, quote unquote, validate your family. Meaning, yes, most women want to be with the man that she has her children with, right? That makes sense. She wants to, bring that family together. But it creates all this competition, particularly in a woman with lower self-esteem, when he has a baby over here, a baby over here, a baby over there. And now it's like, okay, well, who got their life in order the best? That's what he's sitting back. Who has the most to offer me? And that's the one that I'm going to choose. The one that has the most to offer me and that I have access to, you know, the one that I could actually get the most from. So now he's putting you in a situation where you have to tap in your masculine energy. That's if you're falling for this and you're constantly trying to prove that you are the quintessential loyal mom and great mother, and you know, you're being that wife for him before he put a ring on it. And you know, we just have to be careful, ladies. We have to be careful. There are wonderful birth control options to prevent this. For all the young ladies listening to this who aren't in this situation, and you know, this could be just a great audio for you to listen to if you don't have that woman and that feminine energy in your life to help school you on these things. You need to stick close to a channel like this and really take heed to these conversations, because you know, a child is forever. Once you give that child that father, you know, biologically, that's set in stone. It doesn't mean that you can't habitually, you can't learn your lessons and attract, you know, a healthy man into your life who would accept and love you and your child or your children. Of course, you can. But what if we were able to just do that right off the bat? Okay? So like I was saying, there's wonderful birth control options when you ladies are single and you're not, you know, like saving it for marriage per se, you know. The Marina IUD, you know, IUDs and stuff that can really help make sure that you're not jeopardizing having a child with someone that you may not know the way that you think you know, and then find out that you've been duped. But yeah, he's testing you for your masculinity, your ability to be able to protect and provide. And you know, you might come from a history of women who've had to protect and provide for themselves, who generations of women who weren't getting married, and this is all that you know. So you're in that masculine energy and you don't know how to step out of it. See, I know that you have to do what you have to do for yourself. I do understand that, but you have to know how to balance that and when to take that off. And that's the thing. It becomes perpetual when you always have to do what you have to do. You're always stranded to fend for yourself and the feminine energy. You start accepting men who allow you to just stay in that energy rather than, you know, relieve you from that energy. And that just makes things that much more stressful. And then you feel like you have another child. You know, it's less time that you can be nurturing to your child. Just think about it. Sometimes you could be on edge working all these doubles, and then this man, not only does he come and typically plant these babies, right? Then he's still creating drama in his life. He got a court date. He need a lawyer. He done did this and that. So he expecting you to hold down a fork with the child, right? And then he's adding more stuff to the plate. Are you kidding me? Now you need money to retain a lawyer for some BS? Or, you know, you need gas money for this or that to find a job. Like, ladies, we really have to be discriminatory. Yes. And some of you don't understand that. You know, some of you had to learn that the hard way, but I want you to understand that, because some of you are too nice. That's the thing. Some of you are a free for all, you know, and that speaks to your boundaries and your standards. Yeah, everybody can't sit at your table. Okay. And if you're like, you know what, I'm working hard right now because I'm a single mom, and, you know, or I'm a single woman, you may not even have children yet, And, I'm doing what I got to do, but, this ain't what I want for myself per se. I'm not trying to be humping all hard like this all my life. And I damn sure ain't going to have some man come in my life and drag me down, because I could do worse by myself. But we typically do better by ourselves, okay, than having an energy or a man like that come into our space. And we really have to weigh those pros and cons. And I don't care how nice he is. I don't care how cute he is. I don't care how big of his, what between his leg is. Okay. That does not make him husband material. Okay. And what he used to have and what he used to did. Okay. That doesn't either. All right. This person, if he's in a place where he is rebuilding, then he needs to be focused on that. Okay. It's no coddling, no grown man, and making yourself vulnerable to being exploited, ladies. And if he knows that you wanted a husband that bad, and now that you had a child with him, he feel like, oh, she gonna have to accept me if she want that perfect ending, because it's not gonna be a perfect ending with this guy anyway, because he's emotionally unavailable, and all you're gonna be doing is now you're gonna have a child and a crappy marriage. Okay, when you could cut your losses. But yeah, some women, they're just determined. I needed to be with him. He's the biological father. I'm going to turn a cheek and a blind eye to all of his nonsense and all of the burdens that he's placing on me and our family and our children. Because he's not doing what's in you and the child's best interest. He's constantly always only going to be thinking about himself. And this is going to be hard to hear, but he doesn't love you guys. That's not what love does. Love is not about creating families all over the place and not following through, not leaving a legacy. And forget a legacy. We're just talking about regular care here. Can't even get a birthday gift, back to school, all this stuff. Am I always excuses? Then he might even be bold enough to say, well, you already knew my situation. I can only do what I could do. But it didn't stop you from having sex, right? Excuses. The best thing that you can do in these situations is gray rock. And that's if you're just not even totally cutting this guy off. All right? Because I would never have put him on a birth certificate. I would have anything to do with him. He would be a lesson learned. A lesson learned. I would take my lessons, hold my head up high, and do better. Okay? Because you can get better. You do not have to settle for him. You do not have to take care of him. You do not have to fall for his shenanigans. You do not have to be in competition with the other ones that may be still in their toxicity and willing to, play this game with him. You can separate yourself. Take yourself out of that rotation, not end up with a second, third, fourth child by him because you keep sleeping with him. Because it seems like men like this, they just got that super sperm, don't they? I don't know what. And I have to think of this in the most rawest fashion. Because in nature, every animal has a way to protect itself, right? So I guess that yin with the yang is they knew that this guy wasn't going to be good for nothing else. And it's kind of like a way for him to try to protect himself, honestly. It's ruthless, though, to everybody else, but it's a way for him to protect himself. Oh, I got this. I could use this. Some women aren't evolved beyond this. And if I put this in her, I'm going to have her mind. Then I'm going to have her body. Then she's going to have my baby. And now I have access to her. Now I can use her. Now I can manipulate her. All right. So we have to evolve beyond our flesh because they haven't. Never will. Never will. That's why he's not faithful. Beyond that, he's always looking for the next best thing. He's always thinking the grass could be greener. He's always thinking he can upgrade, and it don't mean, it don't matter. You could be bending over backwards, giving him your last, not even getting your hair and nails done, giving him that, not taking care of yourself to make sure he's got what he needs, trying to prove your loyalty. See, this is a man like him. He can only thrive with a woman that don't know the game, that doesn't know her worth yet. Then you're put in a position to have to prove yourself to him when that's the duped part. He should be doing that. It's the opposite way around. He should be proving how he's worthy for you to be carrying on his seed and his name, perhaps, if you've given that child his last name and it's still, his bloodline and whatnot. That is an honor. That is an honor. And those family trees, they're tied forever. People aren't respecting this. Just so reckless with your womb. We have to be careful, ladies. And then often it's a double whammy. Like, yeah, he's gotten you pregnant and he's giving you an STD. And then sometimes like, why isn't this going away? Why I keep getting these yeast infections? Because he's sticking it in her and her and her. And he feels justified. Oh, I had kids with her. We do what we do is nobody else's business. And that's what he's bartering with. So he got to keep doing that stuff. What else he got to give? And since he's love bombing everyone and making them all feel special, why would he use protection? He's got to sexually align with what he's verbally saying. You're my one and only. It's just me and you. Would you use protection with that person? You can use birth control without using protection. So we just have to do better. We have to do better. And this guy disgusts me the most because, it's generational and generations and generations and generations of children. My daddy was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. Then they have to watch him over there with the new supply, love bombing her. And, they're old news now because there's no use for him. There's no loyalty. There's no respect for life. They should not be parenting. They make the worst parents. But yet, so many children have come in the world this way. So, we're approaching a half an hour here. So I'm going to stop this audio. But, this man, he just really disgusts me. It is, when a woman is most vulnerable is when she's with child. And this is usually when he's discarding you for someone else because it wasn't about you and creating a family. It was just about securing the connection, securing his ability to get stuff from you so that he can be protected and provided for. Meanwhile, he's leaving you unprotected and unprovided for at the time when you need him the most. Now, I've gone through a pregnancy with a husband and I've felt the healthiness of that. But guess what? I've gone through a pregnancy without one as well. And this one happened to be with twins. So I know the devastation. I know the coldness, the shrewdness, the blatant disrespect that happens in these situations and how lonely and how stressful, especially getting ready for two, right? How stressful that can be. And I don't wish that on any woman. I don't wish that on any woman. I thank God, in my particular situation that, he knew, and I have my ancestors on the other, and they were there for me. My mom, she was by my side, and she passed away when I was 7, but her energy, she was there. She wasn't going to leave her grandbabies out. She wasn't going to leave her daughter out in the cold. I had so much help and assistance, even from strangers, and that was just, it was a blessing, but it made it worse when I'm in my logic, because I'm like, these strangers, these people that had nothing to do with the procreation of these children, these twins, these babies, they're showing more love and support than the actual man that created them, that wanted them that bad, that forced the situation. It can be mind-boggling. Honestly, it could be mind-boggling, but it's not really. It's very logical reasons of why. They're ratchet, pure ignorance, disrespectful, but there's a rhyme to the reason. But it's crazy. It really is very, very, and this is a prime example of them not having empathy. For them to want you to carry all those burdens and still try to get stuff from you while they're not contributing nothing. Other people like having that kindness to you, like, I've just, and I do coaching, guys. So I've talked to a lot of women who have been in this situation, and I've been their crutch, to help them have, that healthy perceptions and work through the grieving process and the hurt and the devastation here, because we're even more sentimental, when we're pregnant usually, But it's like I said, it's definitely a horrible experience, but we can make the best out of it, of course. But I don't want to, digress too much off of the topic of this video, which is the baby mama hustle of the low range narcissistic man, and how he's scheming with this. Scheming with it. So, God bless you, if you've been through this situation, but I'm sure that it has made you stronger and wiser than you have ever been in your life. But I don't want you to feel like all is lost, or, you don't need a do-over. You just got to do better. None of this has to be in vain for you. And none of this is a life sentence to misery either. You can make the choice. Life is about choices, making better choices, and, separating yourself and disconnecting. All right, guys. So if this audio resonated with you, you can go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't done so, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Over 600 videos here to help you understand toxic relationships, including the ones we have with ourselves, to help you understand psychology, generally speaking, and to increase your emotional maturity and intelligence. Book smarts is one thing, guys, but we need to be life smart. We need to be life smart. So many young ladies need to listen to this low-range narcissistic playlist. Please share this video. Please get this out there. Please talk to your daughters. Please talk to your cousins and nieces. Please talk to, whoever you think could benefit. Okay, I have a support group over on Facebook, guys, for survivors of narcissistic abuse. That link is below the description. And it's below all the videos. Just touch it. But inbox me and let me know that you're a survivor. I get a lot of random requests. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one to help you through, maybe you've had a child with a narcissist or you're currently pregnant, I could help you through that situation. Okay? Or maybe it could be anything. You're doing some shadow work on yourself. You're making goals in life. I'm just a general life coach, but I definitely know a lot in the realm of narcissistic abuse and toxic relationships and shadow works and things of this nature. Okay. With that being said, you can go visit my site, lakiacrawford.com, and schedule your appointment. I do voice calls, FaceTime, Skype, WhatsApp, email coaching, because writing is very therapeutic. And while you're on there, you can check out the 4 books that I've written, extremely therapeutic and healing. All right. So if you like this channel and this video, you definitely love that content. Ebooks are available and hard copies are available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. If you go through my website, you can get signed copies of my books. All right. Reading is definitely very fundamental and a lot of pearls of wisdom there for you as well. All right. You can see everything else I have going on there. The Patreon, which is monthly support of the work that I do, and amazing perks back for your monetary contributions. I have the No Narc Zone merchandise, where you can make your statement against narcissistic abuse and have fun with your fashion. So you can check that out on my website as well. All right, ladies, it definitely can get better, That was a dark time in my life when I experienced this, but I definitely came out and I'm stronger than ever. I'm definitely not that woman. She had a lot to learn, but I learned it. And it made a shift in my energy and a shift in the kind of people I attracted and the kind of partner I ended up with now. So, it could definitely change for you. And that partner loves me and my children. Okay? With that being said, ladies, what do I say at the end of all of my videos? Never, ever give up on yourself. God is not waking you up for nothing. Okay? You have a purpose. He's not waking you up for nothing. You have people, paths to cross, influences, and you help others, including yourself, okay? You have a task. He's not waking you up for nothing. All right, even if it's to be the best mom that you can to your children. But in order to do that, you have to be the best mom to yourself first, okay? We put into ourselves so that we can put into others. If I'm not getting my proper rest, if I'm not eating well and hydrating myself, drinking my lemon water, putting love into myself, I'm not going to have a lot to give to others because I'm going to be tired. I'm going to be depleted. So you got to take care of yourself, okay? You have to. So, never give up on yourself. I don't care how someone else devalued you, okay? Because that's what that situation can make you feel like. Very devalued. Here you are over here carrying his seed, okay? Extending his bloodline, and he over there already with somebody else are treating you like you're nothing, acting like that baby don't mean nothing, that life ain't nothing. It can make you feel very devalued. It could make you feel that way. Could is the key word. But not if you don't get your worth from yourself. If you're the one that defined that, if you can just recognize his dysfunction and consider the source, like see his ignorance and his stupidity, and recognize that is him and not you, and that you can still decide to love you and your child, you can decide to enjoy that pregnancy. You can separate his dark energy from your light. You can start cleansing that out of you, okay? So never give up on yourself. Never. And trust me, when they do that, they're doing you a favor. When he walks off like that, when the low energy, ignorant, selfish, with nothing to offer anyway, man, walks off like that, he did you a favor. And we call them merely sperm donors because some of us didn't even ask for the sperm. Okay, that's another topic. But that man did you a favor, and we're grieving the family that he future faked, right? We're grieving that. So that's hurtful. Like, wow, like I'm on my own. I'm on my own. But this is where you build your support system, all right? So never give up on yourself. Let your support system start with you. He didn't love me, but I'm going to love me. He's not going to stop me from loving me and seeing my beauty and my worth and my purpose. So never give up on yourself, like I said. Continue to do the work, all right? And until next time, please take care.